So the work of the country proceeds, cleaning up from the disastrous previous presidency, getting on with the work of the new one. But through all of this, even on days where lots happened, like today, January 6th looms very large. It looms in the pending impeachment trial of President Trump for inciting the attack. You know, there was initial reporting over the weekend that President Trump had lost his legal defense team for the impeachment trial this weekend when they refused his demands that they use that Senate trial to advance his false claims that the presidential election results in our country somehow shouldn't be recognized and he somehow should still be president. Subsequent reporting late last night from Axios suggests that in addition to that, President Trump may also have not wanted to pay his lawyers, and that might have contributed to their decision to dump him this weekend. But he got new lawyers on Sunday. We'll see about whether in the end they get paid. But they did submit a brief today on behalf of the former president that responds to the charges laid out against him in the article of impeachment. Their brief on his behalf was 14 pages. It included multiple misspellings and typos, including literally misspelling the United States in the first line of the thing. But more substantively, the president's defense brief did, in fact, argue Trump's line that Joe Biden maybe wasn't legitimately elected to be president. The whole brief, for one, never once describes Donald Trump as the former president. It describes him over and over again as the 45th president, as if he is still the president. They never describe him as the former or previous president. Apparently, he thinks he still is the president. The brief argues that the election results that voted Trump out and Biden in, it argues that those results are, and I quote, suspect. It argues that when President Trump told his supporters on the day of the attack that he had actually won the election in a landslide, well, they argue in their brief today that there's no evidence to say that's false. Who can say, really? That claim that President Trump won the election somehow and that President Biden isn't really the president, he's a pretender and he's stolen it and Trump's the rightful president. That was the basis for the mob attack on the Capitol on January 6th. The former president is still trying to advance that claim. He spelled out today in black and white, typos and all, that that's going to be part of his defense in his impeachment trial that starts next week. The election results are suspect. Who can say whether or not it's actually a false claim that Trump won the election in a landslide? Maybe he did win the election in a landslide. We're not saying it. So yes, the work of the country and the work of the government continues. Days like today, a lot gets done. But January 6th looms every day because it isn't over. The former president is still trying to undermine democracy. He is still telling his followers, including now through his legal filings in his impeachment trial, that he's the rightful president. He needs to be avenged. His followers now are still being arrested for their various roles in the attack on January 6th. Increasingly and interestingly, they are citing the words of former President Trump as what they took to be their instructions to violently attack the Capitol that Wednesday morning, less than 4 weeks ago. The person who placed the operational pipe bombs at the Republican and Democratic Party headquarters the night before the Capitol attack, that person has still not been caught. There's a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and capture of that person. The murderers of U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick have also not been identified. That murder remains unsolved. But tonight, as a country, we'll honor him, at least. Officer Sicknick was in his 13th year serving as a U.S. Capitol Police officer when he was killed. Before that, he was in the New Jersey Air National Guard. He's from New Jersey. One of his senators, New Jersey U.S. Senator Cory Booker, eulogized Officer Sicknick on the Senate floor.